So what's been up, brother?
Oh man, not much. Jesus, all kinds of stuff. What's going on with all this stuff in the news? The Trump indictment stuff. Now it's delayed and all that again. And
Is it delayed? I'm watching. I'm traveling, so that's the only time I ever get to watch the news because I turned cable and dish off years ago. I don't watch that crap anymore.
yeah,
But that's all they've been talking about for 2 days, and I literally turned on CNN just to see what they were saying too, and it's nonstop, dude. It seems like they're giddy with they're euphoric and just ready to march in the streets. But I didn't know it was they haven't said anything about it being postponed again.
they may not have. It's hard for me to keep up. I was helping somebody earlier today at work. They had it on Fox News on, and I caught a glimpse of them talking on Fox News. About I don't even know lawyers and everything else, and about maybe it's going to get delayed because of this, or this guy is saying that the information is inaccurate, and I'm like, man, I don't even know what to believe about that situation anymore. I think I was partially right. I don't think he is going to get arrested, but we'll find out. We'll see. I think it's a show or something, but I'm not sure what the distraction is, look over there when they're doing this, I'm not really sure.
Information and disinformation.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, they said Tuesday. We'll find out Tuesday. I've been saying it since last September, August.
mm-hmm.
Um, I know we talked about it before. I thought it was going to be for the J6, but that kind of backfired on them.
Yeah,
So, I mean, even this stuff is flimsy as hell, dude.
yeah.
There's reports that he never even met this woman, and I literally watched. I
It
mean,
was
you
his
and I
lawyer.
know
Yeah,
that,
I heard that his
and that's
lawyer did the money thing, and he didn't know anything about it. That's floating out there
and,
too.
and and that's the thing. They've interviewed his lawyer. Um, he was on CNN, and he's literally throwing Trump under the bus. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? That's your lawyer. Something just doesn't seem right about this, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's all fishy, man. I don't know, man. I was ha, I guess this is the best time to bring it up. So we were talking about Trump the other day, and I can't remember exactly what we were talking about, but I think we were talking about doing this show, and I forget exactly what we were talking about, but I went and sat down and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna watch some Amazon Prime. Let's catch me a movie or something. I swear to
Yeah.
God. Dude, I swear to God, I sat down, I turned on Amazon Prime. The first, suggested movie or whatever, it said Trump versus the Illuminati. And I'm like, what is this, man? And I play the trailer. I gotta try to bring this up. And that's why, and then I sent you I literally took my phone and I was like, I have to record this. And I recorded just a little bit and sent it to you. I was like, dude, you have to freaking see this thing. It's crazy.
You can't make this up, bro. You
No,
can't make it up. It's craziness. It's nuttiness.
like the synchronicity was this insane. I'm like, okay, this is a sign or something. I gotta watch this. So I did watch some of it. Let me see if I can bring it up. I watched a little bit of it, but one of the characters, their voices is annoying as I don't know. So it was hard to watch the whole thing. But it's got some crazy like info in it. And I'm trying to find out if it's like a parody or if it's like trying to get the news out there or what. But here, let me show you what this is. Where's the all right, can you see that?
Yeah.
All right, I don't let me see. Hold on
I
one second.
can't wait to get home and watch it. I
I know.
seriously can't wait. Just for the hell of it. I can't wait to get home and watch it.
There we go.
I was born, some would say created, some would say recreated, nearly 1,000 years ago in a top secret lab in China. I still remember the face. Face of scientists.
So it's all CG.
Can you hear that?
I heard the first part of it. So it's all CG.
Text protection wasn't so bad.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Right.
AI technologies, immortality is not all it's kept up to be. Spell doom with the earth and civilizations, but for me, it was the beginning.
Yeah. So
So it's all CG. It reminds me of that movie from the 80s. What the hell was it? That cartoon from the 80s.
They had CG.
The hell? What is that? An alien smoking smoking a bowl?
So there's crazy. So you go through this thing, man, and there. First of all, it talks about Aleister Crowley and that he's in with the Illuminati and Trump. This is his 15th clone or something, and he's escaped Earth and he's on Mars, and then a bunch of aliens in this thing. There's like a confederation of aliens. They want him to save planet Earth, and at first he's like, fuck that, I'm out, I got out of that, like I'm not saving shit. And then they convince him.
I tried it once already.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's like, I'm out, I got out, this is my however many clone, and I'm up here now, and I think they convince him to do it. But I got about, I don't know, 20 something minutes into it, and this one, let me see if I can find the person that's really annoying, man. Their voice, it's like I couldn't stand it, so I had to turn it off. But there's his oh yeah, one of these guys. Let me see. I think I have to hold my mic or my headset up here. Hold on.
Off on Mars with my dig in my hand, do you? Well, tell me more. Yet, show me, cocksman. 10 million Chinese yen for the taking. One of those storage cars over there. It's full of cash. Guess right. And you can have half. Generous. Out of curiosity, what would stop us from just killing you and taking it all? Not so fast, ET. Curiosity killed the cat. The other car's rigged with enough explosive to, boom, obliterate us in the blink of an eye and turn Mars into stardust. I dig the deal. That's why you're here, right?
Wrong. Well, for you, because you're the one aiming to destroy our Illuminati. Isn't that right, Donald Trump?
Nah, just...
Bro, you can't make this shit up. That is so classic.
I'm telling you, man.
That's what we should name this episode, man. All Aware and Echo with Trump versus the Illuminati.
I'm telling you, yeah.
It's because I can't believe it popped up on your TV. I haven't seen that. I haven't heard of it.
Buddy, I've never heard that.
That is crazy.
Yeah. That popped up, and then I'm going to tell you, I closed that. I kid you not, man. Another Trump thing popped up. It was called the Trump Prophecy. And it's a documentary about a firefighter who has PTSD, and he something happens. He had some traumatic house fire that he rescued, or maybe failed to rescue some people out of, and so he was off duty, and he has these night terrors or nightmares, and eventually, I guess he was getting counseling, and he started having these prophecies, and it was about Trump and Trump saving the world. And then he and his wife, I guess his family, started this entire worldwide prayer group that revolved around it, and they called it the Trump Prophecy. I'm like, I'm not making this up, man. This all happened right after we were talking about doing this episode and the different things that were going on. It's crazy. So you want to look that one up too, about the Trump Prophecy.
Yeah, this is the year, bro. I mean, I don't know if you realize it or not. I've been doing a lot of when I'm traveling, I can listen to a lot of different shows and things, and
I missed that.
I didn't realize until today that there was a Q clock, and the Q clock has been counting down, and it ended today, March.
No way.
Well, it ended yesterday. March 30th, and today was just kind of a no man's land day. And then
Felt like
tomorrow is the first day of the year on the Gregorian, not the Gregorian, what's that other calendar? The Julian calendar.
Yeah, the Julian. Yep.
So literally tomorrow, April 1st, April Fool's Day, is the first day of the year for the Julian calendar. And how many times has Trump talked about April Fool's Day in the last month? I mean, nonstop. So they're predicting that some weirdness is going to happen. Not like it has, I mean, we're only into the 4th month of the year, and the weirdness is off the chart. But yeah, tomorrow, April Fool's Day, we'll see what happens. But tomorrow, April Fool's Day is the Q clock ran out.
Yeah, that's
go time now. I mean, it seems like it's been go time for the last 2 or 3 months, with the weirdness going on.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, but that's one of the things that came up over the last day or two.
Yeah, it's been bizarre. Computers were down today at my job, and the just different weird things going on. I know you had showed me not long ago that debt clock and how things had changed on that, and I found that interesting. We were talking about Operation Sandman, and after you said that, oh man, what was the show? There's several shows that are mentioning that right now, and
it's making the rounds, dude. That's some great. It makes total sense when you think about it. It really does make total sense that when Trump did that worldwide tour back in 2017, imagine that, 2017 again.
Yeah, number one.
And he went to India. He went to China. And where else did he go? Saudi Arabia, and got all these countries on board. That they're well, like what we talked about. That all these countries are going to dump the dollar all at once. And I mean, I sent that video out to some people the other day on Fox News. It's mainstream now. It's on Fox News. They're talking about this.
Yeah,
and if that happens, we're in. I mean, not that we're already not in a world of hurt, but it's going to wake some people up.
Yeah, I mean, if you have gold and silver, you can get it. That's what everybody's been saying for years now. But I don't think it's going to be that bad, because the system, the quantum system, apparently from everything I've researched, is already running parallel to the system, and they've been doing that to work out the kinks and stuff. So when they do drop the dollar, that other system is going to take over. There's not going to be, according to all the several references that I have, you have some of the same ones, but I have one, Jared Rand. He just talked about it on his program. He used to be in with a lot of the elites.
Was that the one you sent me the other day?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. He's even saying that it's running parallel. You might have a week, 2 weeks, something like that, where there's upheaval and stuff because people are going to be confused. But I think they already have it captured, everything captured in that other system. I don't know about you, but my bank accounts have been offline a lot of different times in the past week, and usually they'll do like Sunday from like midnight to 4 a.m. or something for maintenance. Dude, this thing's been off. Yesterday it was off when I tried to do something and check my account. The day before, last Monday, it was offline for like half the day. And it just says, hey, try back later. We're unable to log you in at this moment. And usually when that happens on my phone, I can just go to my computer and do it on there, and it's fine. And it was the same error message on all the devices. So I'm like, well, and then finally I got logged in, and everything looks fine. But I'm wondering if they're either capturing that stuff or what's, if they're doing something, flipping it over to something. I don't know. That's just my observation from what's been going on. It's just weird after the news of, Sandman and the was that the Zimbabwe president or the some South African
Kenya, I think it was Kenya.
Yeah,
Kenya. That was a longer speech. That was just like a blip of what he said. And he was telling people, if you're in the dollar, it's time to get out.
Yeah.
So, but the funny part was that a president of a country making that statement carries a lot of weight. And I guess they tried to shut him down in his country, and the people went nuts, and so it got out further. But yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because last night I tried to get onto my banking app, and it was down for hours, and I finally checked it again today, and it came back up. But yeah, it's something's going on with the banking system. I personally, I don't keep a whole lot of money in the banks. I don't have a whole lot of faith.
Yeah.
In the banks.
Yeah.
So enough to pay the bills, and that's it. I'm not gonna be the guy banging on the door of the bank trying to get my money out. If you got money in the bank, you might want to get it out now, and leave enough to pay your bills. That's that's what it comes down to.
And really, I mean, honestly, that should be what you do. And then, even if you have 401ks or anything, I mean, I've been telling my parents for years now, for a couple of years now, to roll it into a gold-backed IRA with like Noble Investments or somebody. But they hear something on the news, and then they're like, you know what, that's a good idea, I'll look into it. And then they hear something else on the news, and they're like, I think we're fine, like okay.
Yeah. Well, so I know up by your parents' area, man, there's been a few more derailments, and now we got barges full of methanol blocking the Ohio River, and it seems like you guys are under serious attack.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Ohio. It makes me think of, I don't know if you ever watched that show Jericho. It was on
Yeah, I
you?
did.
Okay. Remember in the first episode, because it's about a nuclear, what if something happened nuclear in America, it's about like the fallout and all that stuff. In the first episode, they mention the contingency plan for the United States, and they mention Ohio, and they say Ohio is the fallback location, and specifically Central Ohio, for a continuance of government operation. If something was to happen, that Columbus, Ohio would be the main area, right? So I don't know, it just makes me think back to that and just wonder, like maybe there was something to that, because I mean, we know like we know that like they tell us the truth through videos and through media, through shows and different things like that, as part of how the Matrix works, and how universal law works, right? So they're telling us everything. So do you remember that episode? Do you remember them saying that about Ohio?
I found that show literally by mistake, and it seemed like it only ran like a season or two, but it was really good.
Yeah.
And the only thing I really remember from that show, because it's been probably 2 or 3 years since I watched it, was that there was a nuclear blast or something, and they all had to get indoors real quick, and they all had to tape up the doors and take cover for a while. But other than that, I don't know. I think I watched it during the pandemic. So I watched so many shows back then, just bored out of my mind and researching that I don't remember exactly all of it, but I know it was up there. But I don't think it was in Ohio though. Weren't they down in Colorado or Utah or somewhere?
Yeah, they're
down
in.
there?
Yeah, they're in. They were in Jericho, which is I want to say it's New Mexico, and the whole thing was there were blasts that there were strategic nuclear blasts that were happening across the United States to try to cripple the entire country, and he got, I don't know if it was like military intelligence. He had somebody in the main character had connections and got a radio call or something, but they got a map. And I remember they started circling on the map where the posts were, where, you know, civilization is going to be, where they can go to get help. And they said, well, Washington, D.C. is gone. So COG, Continuance of Government Operations, says that Ohio is now Washington, D.C. It's now the capital of our country. And I just think it was weird because now I'm seeing all this stuff happen in Ohio. And why is it Ohio? It has to come down to paperwork somewhere, because you know, there's something that we don't know. I don't know if it's a treaty. I don't know, because they were the first in the Northwest Territory. Ohio didn't sign certain things that other countries did to sell themselves to Britain, basically, or to the crown. And neither did Texas. That's a whole different thing that they did. So I'm still trying to piece it together, but something is going on, and I think that has something to do with it. But I'm not. I mean, we have the infrastructure there is outrageous. They have DCSC, which is a defense supply center there. They have, I mean, the infrastructure there is incredible. They have Wright-Patterson's only 40 miles west of there, which is coincidentally one of the biggest air bases in the country, and the one that has a secret hangar where they brought a lot of the Area 51 recovered items during that whole shebackle back then. So it's just a theory that I'm going on, but yeah, train derailments and the methanol crap going on in the Ohio River, and something's under assault for some reason. I don't know.
No, you're right. It's funny because I was gonna bring that up, that Wright-Patterson. You're right. That's where supposedly they took a lot of the Roswell stuff.
Yep.
Right after Roswell, and the Texas thing too. Texas literally did not cede their land or territory to the corporation. And I think I told you, but when I was down in Texas for a conference last year, there was a guy there selling gold and silver, and Texas is now minting their own coins, their own gold and silver coins again, and copper.
Texas
coins.
Mint, yep.
But I bought some of those, and holding on tight to those. I think those are actually going to be worth quite a bit. That's pretty unique.
Nice.
But yeah, Texas and Ohio, man, two very red states.
I'm telling you, man, they're doing something to the Illuminati, or whatever you want to call them. I'm just going off what that show said. The deep state.
Did you? I don't know who did Trump's voice in that show, but it was classic, bro. It's like,
I love it.
Maybe his voice changed after his 15th clone, or whatever.
Yeah. He's more of a not giving a crap kind of dude now, man. He's just, I don't care. I'm gonna do it this way. Yeah, that was.
Oh my god, dude!
You gotta watch that.
I'm trying to remember. Still trying to remember that movie from the '80s. It reminds me of that.
Yeah,
I'll remember when we get down.
Yeah.
It's a cartoon based rock and roll or rock.
Fraggle Rock.
No, not Fraggle Rock.
Oh, I don't know. Rock and roll. I don't know. School of Rock.
No, it's on the tip of my tongue. I'll remember it. I'll remember it at some point.
Oh man. So yeah, I don't. How's I know you're up in the northwest coordinates of our country. I just was talking to a guy about Washington and Oregon just the other day. He was telling me it's gone. That's the exact words he said. It's gone. He's from there. He doesn't want to be anymore because literally his words was, "It's gone. There's nothing there."
It's funny you asked that because I would have to totally disagree.
Okay.
You know me, when I travel, I try to get out to the local spots, and I've gone to about 4 or 5 this past week, and everywhere I go, people are just like me. They're just normal people wondering what in the hell is going on.
Oh.
And they're not blue, they're not red, they're just normal people who see that something's going on. I actually had a conversation with a guy today. I was having some lunch, and we had a conversation about COVID and what's going on. I don't see any liberal blue here at all. And I've been all over the damn Northwest. I'm starting to think that it's just small pockets.
Okay.
They try to make us
Downtown,
believe
probably.
that.
Yeah. Inner
Yeah.
city.
And you know what's funny is I've come up here for years, and I had a conversation with the guy tonight having dinner at the bartender. And 3 years ago when I came up here, the homeless situation was off the chart. I mean, I would go down out of the airport, get on the freeway, and just getting on the freeway in the middle of the roundabout to get on the freeway was it looked like a junkyard. It looked like Tent City with a junkyard.
Yeah.
I mean, cars on blocks, bicycles everywhere. Just, I mean, I thought that the homeless was bad in California. Up here, it was 10 times worse. And when I got up here and got on the freeway this time, that's all cleared out. It's all done. It's all gone. The tent cities and the homeless, I don't know if they've gone somewhere else or if the law enforcement's cracking down up here more, but they're cleaning it up.
Oh,
So
yeah.
something's going on. It's not as bad as it was 3 years ago. Something's going on. What it is, I don't know. And it's funny you asked that because I actually seeing that today and this week, I started to think about the homeless situation a little bit differently. You know, everybody thought that the homeless situation, you know, this is just a theory of mine that I came up with today after seeing this, that maybe the reason that the homeless situation happened was because when Donald Trump came into office and he bankrupted the corporation in 2018 and reinstated the republic, maybe the homeless were the first ones to actually get their rights back, where the police and the policy enforcers had no jurisdiction to even mess with them anymore. So all they could do was just leave them alone. And I mean, when you think about it, that is the pinnacle of freedom, where you can go and pitch a tent, and nobody's going to tell you you can't be there. Nobody's going to tell you to go somewhere else. They have no jurisdiction over you. Unfortunately, a lot of it comes down to drug addiction and other problems.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you think about it, those people are more free than anyone I know.
They are.
And it kind of sent me in a whole different direction seeing that this week, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I wanted to remember that today and talk to you about it. But being homeless, that's freedom. It really is freedom. It seems like we haven't seen that kind of freedom in what 150 years. So
yeah.
so we'll see where it
Man,
goes. But that was just a thought that popped into my head.
brother, this is crazy. These things we're talking about. I just dealt with a homeless issue today. So one of my jobs, I work at a hotel, and we have homeless that stay around it. I don't know why they do. And there's a big today we were 100% packed. So, I'm like, all right, well, I get complaints on these people all the time. People were scared. They think they're gonna do something to them. So I called the police down here in Texas and said, hey, there's big signs across from the hotel. It's an adjacent property. It's abandoned, but there's, literally like a 6-foot by 9-foot sign on a post sticking in the middle of this thing, and it says no trespassing, no soliciting, no everything, whatever, all the things. And it says if you do, you will be prosecuted. We encourage anyone that sees anybody loitering here to call the police. So I call and I tell him that, and I tell him there's a bunch of them now. When I first got to work, there's like 4. It's halfway through my shift. I look out, there's literally like 15 people over there. So I'm like, okay. So I call, and kind of to get to the point where you're talking about, the police said, okay, we're going to send somebody out. Somebody shows up. They come over to where I'm working. They say, talk to me. And he says, well, you know what? There's nothing I can really do. He says, I was like, there's a huge no trespassing sign right there. He's like, well, yeah, there is, but he says there's not much I really can do. He says, typically when we drive by, all they'll do is walk across the street. There's a Baptist church there. That Baptist church does not prosecute. So when they're in that area over there, as long as they're not panhandling or griming and doing anything with anybody people wise, he's like, they are where they're at. And I'm like, but there's a no trespassing sign, right? He's like, well, that's city property. He said, so, that's city property, so it's public land. They put the signs up there, to try to deter, but as long as there's nothing bad going on, there's nothing I can do but drive by. Like, wow. And I thought the same thing when you just mentioned then. I thought, those people are free. The cops can't even mess with them. They have tents over there. They have book bags, backpacks, bicycles. They're all hanging out in these big groups, but literally using the sign that says no trespassing as part of their camp. And they say, we'll drive by and make sure everything's kosher, but other than that, it's nothing we can do. Like, wow.
Yeah, so no jurisdiction.
Yeah. It got me thinking too, man. Like, you know what? Wow. They're free. They're invincible. They're untouchable unless obviously they do something that's a criminal act, violent or something like that, and that falls under do no harm, which is literally the only real law that the republic holds is do no harm. Right? So I mean,
yeah,
that's yeah.
You're right. You're right. I mean, they might have a problem. One of the other laws is don't steal.
Yeah, that's definitely doing harm.
but they've got to catch them in the act of that. If they're stealing a bicycle or something else. But yeah, that it's funny you saw that too, because that hit me today like a ton of bricks. It's like, wow, those people are free, and that's the consequences of being free are you're responsible for your own actions.
Yeah,
you're responsible for yourself, and it's another show that you turned me on to the other night was the Waco documentary.
Yeah, did you watch the whole thing?
I did,
Yeah.
and my wife watched it too, and I mean, dude, I wasn't 5 minutes into it, and I was just ready to throw shit at the TV. I was so pissed off because you and I have both been out there. We've seen the truth, and they don't always represent the truth in these documentaries. But I've seen the pictures and the videos and talked to the people young lady that was in that documentary. It's funny. My wife was like, "Is that the one that you talked to?" And the first time I had ever gone out there, she was the one that was at the museum, and I had spoken to her.
Wow.
And she was the last kid out before it got lit up on fire.
Yeah.
And the pictures, I still have the pictures and stuff. Maybe we'll do a show on that one time when I can share my screen and show this stuff. But the federal government, the FBI and the federal agents out there that were posing with the dead bodies and taking selfies with dead bodies and ashes, and just the disrespect that went on out there.
Yeah, they drove over the tanks, driving over the cars, and just bumping into the building with no reason. It was disgraceful, man. There was a lot of footage there you got to see that they didn't show in the other documentary that was back a few years ago. But it looks like, are we coming up on time?
We might be. It goes quick when you're having fun.
Jeez. Yeah. Yes, man.
My brother Nathan's back.
Hey. Oh, it got kind of cut off there, didn't we?
Yeah, it's all good. So I changed it up a little bit. I put the background that you made me.
Oh, look at that. I love it, man.
Yeah, dude.
That's it right there. That's it.
It brings back memories.
I bet it does, man. I bet it does. I was just talking with the guy the other day. He's a Marine. I was telling him about you. He's about your age and about aircraft mechanic and stuff. So he was reminiscing with it. He had his hat on and he's reminiscing, asking about boot camp. Tell me how it was. He told me if I ever seen the movie Full Metal Jacket. I said, yeah, man, that's one of my favorite movies. He said, that shit happened to me. I said, what shit? He said, that. I said, no way. He said, no, I'm telling you, buddy. I said, okay, I'll believe you. I believe you, bud. He said he went to Paris Island and he said he got hosed down and all kinds of stuff. So,
dude, I have actually one of the best friends I've ever had in my life was a Marine. He's actually from Ohio. Haven't seen or talked to him in a while, but he went to Paris Island, and you know, us people on the West Coast, we were called Hollywood Marines. You know, we went to San Diego.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting to get a different perspective from a guy that went to Paris Island and how different the boot camps are. And it really is hardcore out there. And Paris Island is no joke. It's no joke. And that guy went, and he probably went through, long before we did, and back then, back in Vietnam era, they could really do some shit to you. They could beat the shit out of you. They could, that movie was pretty realistic.
Yeah.
When I went through, they could put their hands on you. They could do a few things, but nothing like in that movie. Now it's a whole, the whole woke agenda is into the Marine Corps, into the Navy. It's into everything. And,
so you
can get a timeout now. It's like, I need a timeout from boot camp. No, it doesn't work that way. What the hell are you talking about? You need a timeout? No, sorry. But that's the world we live in at the moment.
For a little bit longer anyways, huh?
Yeah, true. You know what? I know we I really love these episodes where we just cut it up and kind of talk to each other.
Yeah, sure.
But at some point we probably got to do some training and some teaching and some other stuff. But I don't see us getting to 24. I don't think the country can take much more of this, which is why it's being escalated, and we're seeing what we're seeing now. It's like full throttle right now. Every day is something new.
Yeah.
So I can't wait till Tuesday. It's funny. I was cutting it up with someone on Facebook today, and this guy's a total Biden supporter. Tried to show him the pictures. You know, it's two different people.
Yeah.
And they just can't see it. And I try to explain it to them, and it's not until, well, you know, they've said that 3% of the people are just done. They're not going to see it. They're not going to get it.
It's probably more than that, but that's probably being conservative. But yeah.
I feel like it's more than that right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, seriously? I'm like, dude, I'm showing you the picture. It's not the same guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's frustrating that I mean, I've seen this stuff for 6 years now, and really I woke up around 9/11,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with Building 7 and some of the other stuff that happened, you know, but
That's
the
what
real
kinda
wake up wasn't until about 17.
Yep.
But yeah, at some point we're probably going to do an episode where we got to do some training and some teaching and even just let people know that there's a way out. You don't have to pay taxes. You don't have to deal
Right.
with this bullshit. You can opt out of a lot of this stuff. It just takes time. It takes paperwork. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we definitely should. And just like you said, let people know what the truth is, because everybody's been lied to for the past. I mean, all of us, like, you know, my parents' age and your parents', you know, age, if they're still around, there's some people still around in their 90s and stuff like that. Doesn't matter. They still were lied to. There's nobody living today that knows the full truth, unless they have really researched, or they're in the know, or they're in one of these families that has taught this elitism, this training of how, you know, they're, you know, I mean, the name drop, you got the DuPont family is one of these families. You know, you have, everybody knows the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, and there's certain elite families that their generation, their kids, they're taught a certain way. They're going to these private schools that only other elite children go to, and those are the people, your Klaus Schwabs and your even your Bill Gates, and what it seems like, I get it, is like everything seems separate. You would think, you know, we're all born into these bodies, we're all born into a family. Yeah, we're all connected at some point down the road, but people don't realize how connected everything really is, and how how the world has evolved and been controlled. And once you know it, if you just know one thing, like if me and you were just sitting here talking and we're just saying, you know, and like I've said it in previous podcasts out of the blue, like, yeah, we're controlled, you know, by an elite organization or a group, a family group. People are like, what the hell are you talking about, man? Like, okay, that's a pretty simple statement. It makes it sound crazy, but dude, they own the utility companies. These certain sectors and families own the like literally everything. Like, you know, your utility companies, your banks, definitely your banks, your politicians, your government offices, the support structure. Like, people think like the United States government, the Canadian government, you know, all these different governments around the world, and they see it as government and then the people. The government, that word, they're not government. They're subcontractors that work under that segment of government. Man, I just said I work in a hotel. You know how many people I check in to the hotel that says government on their check-in or on their ID? But when I talk to them, they're not the government. They're Weissenberg Foundation, who's subcontracted to do this for the government. It's all subcontracted. And who do you think owns these subcontracted companies? It's all this same group who, if we want to really get into it, but we won't, are Nazis. The Nazis are all in this too, man. Like,
Yeah.
So I guess my point is, if someone was to sit down and listen like we have over the decades it's taken us to learn all this knowledge, they would piece it together and see that, holy crap, it makes so much sense and it is all true. And I know there are people doing that. I met him at the Trump rally in Waco, Texas the last week. And I was actually surprised. I was talking to people on the street and I just shut up and let the guys talk, and they're awake. They know some of this stuff. They're not dumb. People are not ignorant, man. Some are. And that's unfortunate. Like you said, 3%, 10%, whatever, 20%. But yeah, I think it's really important. I kind of went on a rampage, but I think it's really important that we do wake people up, man, and that we just kind of go in it. And I'm passionate, and I know you are too. Like we can tell you what's going on so it makes sense, but I think a lot of people have that cognitive dissonance, that MK Ultra kind of, Project Mantalk kind of stuff still going on, where they're afraid to allow their minds to open up to thoughts that are not comfortable. One of my best buddies in Ohio used to say, people prefer comfortable lies to the uncomfortable truth. I mean, I think that sums it up,
100%. Yeah. It's so at dinner tonight, when I was sitting there having dinner, there was a few older couples there at the bar, and they're going on about
they had food at
they're
there?
going on.
They have food at your, oh man, you're in a bougie hotel, bud. You got a restaurant and a bar?
Oh yeah, no, that's the only place that I stay now. You got to have a restaurant. Yeah, I'm not driving. I'm walking down the hallway. But the people are going on about, and I'll complete this thought, but I'm going to start with it here.
Sure.
The people are going on about the cruise they're going on next month and how they're going here and they're going there, and I'm thinking, well, I really hope that happens for you, but I'm guessing that you may not be going on that cruise.
You didn't say that,
year.
Did you?
No, of course.
You're thinking,
I'm thinking in my head.
Yeah.
I'm thinking in my head. But what was really going through my mind was the fact, and I have to pull myself back from being upset with these people, because I feel like we're cleaning up the mess that they made. And it's frustrating. It's like, y'all let this shit happen. They were born. These people were probably born about the year that this happened, back in in 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, when all this happened, and they were lied to too.
Yeah.
But they allowed this shit to go on for the last 100 years, and it just, it's frustrating, and then I think, but then I try to think about my dad, and my dad, he was a single father, and all he could do was work and take care of a family.
Yeah.
So they keep you busy, so you can't do anything about it. So I brought myself back into the reality that, you know what, they're just trying to enjoy the end of their life and go on a cruise, but unfortunately they're probably going to see some craziness that they didn't sign up for, because they didn't sound like they even knew what the hell was going on. They were just into their cruise, and I think they're going to the Caribbean or somewhere. But this is it's gonna get handled. I think it's gonna get handled this year.
Yeah.
With the pace that we're on, and the end's not for everybody.
No.
So we'll see who wakes up, who doesn't, and I kind of, like I said, I would love to do some training and teach some people some stuff, but I kind of feel like we're behind the eight ball now. I mean, you and I woke up years ago.
Yeah.
The training period was years ago. If you're not awake now, I don't know how much time you have left to get awake or to do anything about it. So
it's like it's like a basketball game, and you're a player, and you show up and there's 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and you're all amped up, like, all right, coach, put me in. Like, the game's done.
Yeah.
You can sit on the sideline. We'll fill you in on what happened during the game, but I don't know if you're gonna have much play time, but like, I mean,
maybe that's our job. Maybe we're just supposed to fill people in on what's happening and what's coming, because it's gonna get. I mean, not like it's not nutty already, but it's gonna get seriously nutty. And
yeah,
if you're not ready for what's coming, well, and a lot of people that I saw at the bar tonight are not ready for what's coming. Man. They just kind of what there was a word I was looking for. They were the normalization. They think that normalization is back, and they're just kind of okay with status quo. Well, normalization is not back.
It's not back.
This is just the what they calm before the storm.
The eye of the storm, probably right now. We're probably in
the eye of the storm. You're right, because Trump said the storm's coming 2 years ago. This is probably the eye of the storm.
Yeah,
we're getting ready to boomerang back around and see the nuttiness like we haven't seen in. I would say since 1871 when all this shit started.
That's what I was going to say. 1800s. Yeah. And there's so much crazy stuff. I mean, and then to even get in, I mean, it's just so far beyond people surface level stuff, but to get into timelines and what's going on in quantum realities and technology and different things and what's going on in the new sciences and stuff, man, it's some of the stuff I can't even really believe yet, man. It's some of the stuff that I follow some scientists and some stuff that they've discovered and that they're finally talking about. It's like, wow, that's I mean, it never ends. But I think the important thing is, like, the people see, like, some people are afraid of knowledge, but it's like, when you have knowledge, your fear level goes down, and fear is how we've been controlled for since the beginning of civilization. And the thing is, the elite, or the people that control, however you want to name it, they're not afraid. They don't really get afraid because they have knowledge, so they know things. So, and I even believe they know what's going on now, and they may know that they're losing, or they may know that things aren't going the way they want, but they still have knowledge, so they're going to play whatever cards they have left. And the only ones that are afraid are the bottom level soldiers that really don't know what's going on. And that's the thing. That's why everything's compartmentalized everywhere all the time. Even in your businesses, you work at a company, you're compartmentalized. You only know certain things, and that's all you know. But if you knew everything like the CEO knows, maybe you're not going to be scared. Maybe you'll be worried. Hell, I mean, you'll probably be worried, right? Like, if you knew your company was going to collapse, probably be worried, but you would also know what to do in those steps. And that's all, you, Echo, and I are kind of trying to do, is just, we're not trying to scare anybody. Just let's wake them up so that they have the knowledge, so that they can do something with it. I mean, I know me and I know you, we don't choose. We're not trying to. I know I've had feedback before, like, well, all you talk about is scary, fearful tactics and things. And no, that's not what I'm talking about. If that's how you perceive it, I'm sorry. I'm telling you information and knowledge and things that are being said that in a real, direct, maybe an aggressive way. I'm kind of an aggressive dude. I just say things directly, but you take that and find the solution, because there's always a solution in every single problem. There's not one problem that exists that does not have a solution. That's life doesn't work that way. The universe doesn't work that way. You always have to have a solution, right? So, I mean, what do you think? I mean, I know you're kind of on the same page with that, right? We're not trying to scare people. We're just trying to wake people up.
It's funny you say that because I literally had a conversation with a gentleman today who had never heard any of this, but he knew that something was wrong.
Okay.
And he's like, I don't know what to make of any of this. So I started breaking it down to him about how taxes are voluntary, about how you can opt out of the system. And, it's just all paperwork.
Yeah, it's contract. It's contracts. Everything's a contract.
It's all contract. It's just paperwork. You have a trust, and you take control of the Sesticavie trust that was fraudulently opened in your name, and you just take control of everything. And he's like, how do you do that? And I guess that's something that you and I take advantage of, because we woke up years ago and we've done it. We know how to do it. Even getting a passport as a state national. It's very easy to do. It just takes time, which is what frustrates me now. We're here. I feel I'm upset because I wasn't able to wake up enough people.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's to come, but maybe that's why I want to do some training and an episode with you, where we can at least get people on the right path to take control. That's all it comes down to. You take control of your life. I watch this show and it, to me, it's just entertaining right now.
It's a show.
I don't worry. I don't worry about it. Nothing worries me. I see it and I just laugh.
Yeah.
Because it really is a show.
Yeah. It really is. Yeah. It really is. And it's you're literally, and people have said this, maybe Wano Savin, maybe some other, I can't think of any other names right now. I've heard the guy that does connecting consciousness, the British, he used to be a British in the British Parliament. Simon Parkes.
I haven't watched him in like a year. I don't know where he went. Maybe they got kicked off of YouTube or something.
Yeah, he's still around. Connecting consciousness is still around. I don't know. He's doing more off camera kind of work now. He's got some connections. I think he's coming to the States. His group is blossoming. I mean, his connecting consciousness is like a worldwide thing now. But yeah, they have said stuff. And I kind of lost my train of thought, but basically they had said stuff about, this stuff just being a show, and just how you're watching the show and you hear it and you're just, it's kind of like a funny thing. Like, yeah, it's a show, but then like we're really living in this show. Like it's like you're in a movie, but you're like an extra, but you don't really know your part. You're just roaming around and it's a show. It's the most bizarre thing. I don't know. Have you seen that movie? I think it's called it's not New Guy. It's like Guy or The Guy, or it's about a non-playable character in a video game. And he learns who he is, and that he starts becoming conscious and learning that he's an NPC. And then he starts interacting with players, real, human players that are in this game through virtual reality. And he finds glasses or drop off of this player, and he picks them up, puts them on, and all of a sudden he sees what we see. He sees he sees where the money pot is, and he sees you can get 500 points if you flip over this car, and he sees that you can fly over to this building and you can start a new mission over there. And he's like, what the hell is all this stuff? And then through the movie, he starts waking up, and then he realizes, he goes home and he's looking at his closet, and he has the same shirt, the same pants for every day. He goes to like the coffee shop on his way to his job. In the game, this is what he does. It's his routine, right? But now he's like, I want to do something different. So he goes into the coffee shop and he's like, hey, I want a hot chocolate. The fucking game like freezes and glitches. It's like, what? Because he always gets a coffee, one sugar. So it's like, and he's like, what? And he starts realizing this, and then by the end of the movie, he's like screwing this game up because he's like a consciousness now, and he's trying to get the hell out of this thing. And it's like that's almost that's like us, man. That's like this world. That's like what I feel like is that people like you and I and the thousands and millions and several millions of people that are waking up worldwide, man, we're like those people. We're like, it's like, this is a game. And like, you look at people like you're talking about these clones and stuff. Like, we know that there's clones. We know that there's body doubles. We know for any elite person, you know, and we're picking that out.
Yep.
And we're picking that out. Like, that's an NPC, you know, that's a clone. Other people are like, what are you talking about? That's Biden, man. That's his wife. That's Kamala Harris. Come on, dude.
They can't see it. Some people just can't see it.
I kind of
I
envy
literally
them.
put it in front of them today. You know what? I used to. I don't anymore.
You know what I mean?
I don't think I
Simple.
could ever go back.
I can't,
Yeah.
but I just sometimes just want to have that simplicity and just live life, you know. And it's like you can't anywhere you go, even if you're going on vacation or you're traveling, like you're something like your mind, you see this stuff, so you're like, nope, that's not real, or this is that, or fucking this and this, and other people are just like, wee, and you're like, I wish I could be wee, but it's not wee. You know,
It's. I want to say that you're thinking about Grand Theft Auto, but it's not Grand Theft Auto.
yeah.
Is it like Ready Player One or something that you're? Was it that Steven Spielberg movie or
No,
something?
it's
I don't know what game you're talking about.
It's called like The Guy or New Guy or something. I know it's not New Guy because that's a movie from the 90s that had to do with a guy that was new in a school. Free Guy. It's called Free Guy.
Free Guy.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, man, you got to watch it. It stars Sean Levy directed it. It stars Ryan Reynolds, Jodie Comer, and Taika Waititi.
Was it like one of his first movies?
This came out a couple days ago. Look, let me see if I can look. Let me share something else with you. All right, let me see if I can do this.
I mean, it reminds me of that movie from the 80s, We Live, where they live.
We Live.
Remember that when the dude put the glasses on?
Yeah.
And he saw all the aliens or the people that weren't human.
Yep. It's like that, but modern. You see this?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear this. Okay. I had to take my headphones off. So
another one I'm gonna have to go home and watch now.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, hold on.
Friend, this is the greatest cup of coffee of all time. Mondays, am I right, Joe? You said it, guy. I work at the bank. I thought I had everything I needed. Then I met her.
Everybody down ground. Everybody except you.
Please, I have a goldfish.
There's something inside you, guy.
Well, what's something inside me?
I expected you to just follow the rules, but you are so much more than that. Something's on.
Oh, why? Oh my God! Check glasses or something?
Guy.
All right, I don't know how much I can legally show that, so I don't want to show too much.
I saw some of that before, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. Okay, I gotta go home and watch that.
Yep. I'm telling you.
I was just gonna say, are we gonna get a copyright strike for showing?
I know. I don't know how much I can legally show, but I know you can show a little bit on a free fair act or whatever it's called. So
I was wondering what that was. I saw that probably a month ago. I'm like, what the heck movie is this? And I didn't. Wow, I gotta go and watch that now.
You're gonna have like a whole day of movies now. You're gonna have to schedule. Yeah, it's like that though, man.
You know, it's funny you brought up Juan and a few other people there, and this is kind of how I live my life now. if Trump isn't worried and Juan's not worried, I'm not worried.
Yeah.
You know, those guys seem like they got shit under control, and I mean, nobody's freaking out. They're not freaking out.
No, they're
So I'm
calmer
not
now than
freaking
they
out.
have been in the past. Especially
Yeah,
Juan.
I think some of it's a bit of a show, you know, but
Yeah.
but you know, I mean, Trump's not freaking out. He's like, oh, okay, cool. He's been pretty active on Truth Social.
Yeah.
But other than that, he doesn't seem too worried about what's going on. So I think he's insulated, and I think we're good. It's like we talked about before. He's got to be out of the picture when the shit show comes down.
Yeah.
You know, and it's got to be blamed on this guy playing Biden. I'll tell you right now, man, he deserves an Academy Award.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's gonna get something. I don't know who would do this. That's why I kind of think it, you know, I'm more on the line of they've done some kind of clone or android or something, because I don't know who in their right mind could do something like that. I don't care how much they're going to pay you. It's not going to end well. You can't think it's going to end well. I mean, you're playing a guy who, I mean, I don't know if we're trying to put this on YouTube, so I won't say, but because
I don't even know what I could put on YouTube.
you
I'll
can put
try
this.
and put it up and see what happens.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't have 3 strikes like me. You have like not even a warning yet. You'll be fine. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't get how you could do that, and all these actors and people playing different roles. I mean, and I know some of these people who invested in certain things are already like crapping their pants because they see the writing on their wall, and it ain't gonna last forever. It's like, so you did all that for short-term gains and success, but I hope you're living it up right now, because in the end, I don't know if you're gonna think it was worth it.
Well, you remember in 2019 and 2020, what was there, like 500 CEOs of companies that resigned and just parachuted out? They were done. They were out.
Yep, I have the list on my computer on my Dropbox. Yep. Yeah. There was tons and tons, and it continued from then too. It's still going on now.
What was it, like 2,500 sealed indictments?
Yep.
You know, that some number like that. I don't remember the exact number.
There's like 5,000 or something. Yeah, it's something ridiculous. Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I mean, and they built that new geriatric hospital wing in Gitmo.
Yeah.
You know, there's only like 7 old terrorists down there. You need a new geriatric wing for 7 terrorists? No, there's something. I don't know. We'll see.
They've been building up other stuff too. Yeah, I took a drive. I was a little depressed the other day, man. Stuff going on. So I took a drive. I ended up driving. I have no idea how I got over here. I ended up getting over by Fort Hood. Dude, they have a north. They have a North Fort Hood now, or maybe they have for a little bit. I don't know, but it's huge. I mean, I looked it up on satellite because I'm sitting here looking at tanks and stuff out my right window, and I'm like, Fort Hood is east of Killeen. I'm 25, 30 miles from there, and I'm seeing tanks and stuff. So I'm looking up on the satellite. I'm on the back side of Fort Hood. It's called North Fort Hood, and you should see the property that they have now and all this stuff they're building up. I mean, it's got to be 20 square miles of stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, something's going on where they're building up stuff, and like you said, down there in old Gitmo, that thing's like a campus now. It used to be 2 buildings. You can look back in the Wayback Machine and go to and look at the GPS. It was like 2 buildings and a runway that was dirt. Basically, it looks like dirt. I don't know if it was, but it looks like dirt.
Well,
now it's a campus.
Well, the reporter that reported on it was back in like 2020, somewhere around there. I think it was Catherine Heritage, and she was down there, and she reported that they're building a new hospital, a new geriatric wing, and a new courtrooms that
That's
will
right.
that will accommodate multiple trials at one time. So if there's only like 7 terrorists down there, who are they building this stuff for? At some point, we're going to see a lot of what we want to see, what you and I have been waiting for a long time, is going to come to fruition. And the people that we've been trying to wake up, and they think that we're nuts and they think that we're crazy, that they refuse to look at the evidence. I mean, even today, I was trying to wake somebody up and send them the evidence, and they still are like, oh no, that's not true. There's no way that's true. It's like, okay, well, time will tell. So we'll see.
Yeah, I work with some younger women, and they are a little woke. And I had one the other day. She goes, something came on we had the news channel on the TV and in the lobby, and she goes, oh, that's one of those guys that was at J6. And did you know that?
Oh, was the shaman?
Oh no, yeah, not him. No, it was a famous person that was on TV, and I can't remember who it was. But she said he was seen going into the Capitol for the riots in J6, and how he's a terrible person. And I'm like, I guess it really doesn't matter to the person. It's just it's an affluent person that you would know on TV. I can't remember, but I'm thinking, oh, it wasn't Steve Harvey, but it was somebody in like that comedy wise. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's oh, we have video evidence and proof that they have camera footage of him, and he was in the riots, and he was going up onto the into the Capitol, and he's a bad guy. And I'm just like thinking, man, these people, man, like what?
Yeah, like, should I really open my mouth?
Oh,
is it worth it?
I know. I'm like, okay, I'm a coworker. This, let's just go with it. But I'm telling you, it was somebody that's like out there. I wish I could remember, but it was someone out there that's just killing it, and that's trying to wake everybody up. And literally, I don't even think the person was at J6. They haven't, but there's rumor going on in the younger crowd, in the millennial and zillennial, whatever they are, Z crowd, that these people are, going to, anti-American and all. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just rough to see that and no, you can't really wake them up because they're not on any kind of level where they're going to understand what you're talking about. So opening my mouth would just make me look like an idiot, because they've been taught in their educational system whatever the hell they have been taught. And if you're not, conservative is bad, liberal is good. So as long as you're open and free to allowing anything to happen, that's a good thing. Unless it's anti-gay, whatever their platform is. It's very odd, because for one thing, like, we're gonna have I've been told there's gonna be an anti-gun rally in the city that I'm in here in Texas tomorrow. We're in Texas, man.
You're in Texas.
Everybody has a gun. Everybody. So who's protesting? I don't know. These millennials, man.
It's funny because they showed the I guess the students stormed the Capitol in Tennessee a
Mm-hmm.
couple days ago.
Yep.
And I kept watching. I'm like, okay, when is somebody going to get arrested? So you can be a student protesting in Tennessee and not get arrested, but J6 is a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. That's funny, man. Yeah, I mean, Tennessee's the patron state of shooting shit, and in Texas, I mean, everybody and their brothers got it. Who's going to show up at that rally? Everybody and their brothers got a gun and a rifle in Texas.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, I'm waiting to see who shows up.
Maybe they're crisis actors.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I haven't been on Craigslist lately to check to see who's hiring for those, but that's where they hire them from.
You just have to be able to see through the bullshit, and I know it's frustrating. I look back now and like I said before, I feel like I'm out of time. Like I try to wake people up, and the good part is, like I was telling you this week, that everyone I've talked to knows that it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to one person this week who literally believes the bullshit. Not one.
I know.
And I'm gonna.
You were saying you were in the Northeast and people are awake, right?
Oh, 100%. I haven't talked to one person up here that believes any of this bullshit. Nobody, so when they say that Pacific Northwest is blue and that's, no, I'm not seeing it. I'm on the ground here. I'm not seeing it. I'm not even seeing it in California. It doesn't exist. Everybody I talk to, neighbors, friends, people at bars, at restaurants, having dinner, they all know something's wrong. They all know that I don't know, maybe I'm going to the wrong places, but I'm just not finding the blue up here. It seems like it's all bullshit. They don't know what to do about it. That's a whole nother story. They just want to keep voting. Well, I'm gonna vote.
I've heard that too. Yep. They just want to vote.
You keep voting.
Yeah.
How'd that work out the last 2 times?
For the last 20 times that you've done it,
Mm-hmm.
It's I heard that a little bit too. At the Trump rally in Texas, where they said they're gonna let it go to the vote, and I mean, I know that their heads are in the right place, and some of the stuff they said is right, but then it's like, okay, well, we got to catch them up to speed on that, because they're not getting that voting thing, but most of them did. That was one guy out of probably 10 people I talked to, one couple. So that's about right. That's 3%. So.
And technically, in 2016, they did vote their way out of the problem, but they never thought Hillary would lose. So that's why they went full bore, and there's no way you can vote yourself out anymore. Now they realize that, holy shit, we set them back about 4 years with Trump, but they're never going to let that happen again. So it's all out war right now. I mean, we are literally in a war right now, for the hearts and minds and the souls of humanity. So you're not going to vote. If you're just looking around right now at the nuttiness and craziness, you're not going to vote your way out of this anymore. It's that time has passed. We did that in 2016. That was a little pause, and we got a reprieve. Now it's, the shit's getting real, and you see it every day. I see it every day. So
Well, yeah,
We're at that point.
16. Yeah, they cheated, but the algorithms back then, they've worked ever since then. The algorithms were set so that it was just a minor adjustment, so it didn't look so rigged. But
Right.
the point is, it was based on a certain section of the population voting. But then when this is my number, but I'm going to say when 80% of the population voted, and maybe their machine set on 40%, it threw that algorithm off, and it couldn't keep up. So Trump still won with the cheating in 2016, so hardcore that what you're saying exactly came into play, to where they're like, oh shit, now we got to set it up so that it never allows that to happen. But when they set it up like that, it's obvious now, it's going to be super obvious. I mean, look at it, how, and I never understood this, and this is all I need for my physical, mental consciousness to understand is, and this is just my observation, this is not anything I researched. If this was just me observing things back through COVID, when everyone was locked down, nobody campaigned on that side. There was like 3 kind of rally things, or whatever they called them. One of them, I physically watched it, and there were 6 cars parked in front of a stage with people in them. The other 2 rallies, the way the camera was angled, it showed a third of the audience and the stage, and it was from the back. So basically, it wasn't panning to show anybody, and even that was showing like 12 people. And then the whole rest of the time, he's campaigning from his basement because of COVID. And I'm just thinking, and you flip on the other side, and Trump is out all over the country. There are thousands of people at his rallies. They're not panning. No, CNN is not panning. Even Fox back then wasn't really panning. All of these, they're not panning the audience, but even with what they're showing, you're seeing hundreds of people, even when they're trying to conceal this. And that's just that. If I didn't know anything else that I know today, and I just knew that, I'm going to ask myself, how in the hell did that guy win? How is that and based on the polls that froze at 3-4 o'clock in the morning that we watched, I physically watched it do, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, come on.
Oh yeah. Water main breaks.
Yeah.
All kinds of
covering up
shit.
The windows in the
with the pizza boxes.
Yeah, I'm watching them do this. Like, you can't look in. It's a public election. What are you talking about? I can't look in. I can stand beside you while you do it if I choose to. I'm an American. Yeah. Anyways, with all that set aside, if I just knew that, I can guarantee you that there's no way that this person would have won. I don't care who it is. If the roles were reversed, I would say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being real. Yeah, it's like, this is crazy. The guy didn't win, but there's people out there that's what they believe, man.
Well, you and I have talked about it before, and I know we're going to wrap it up soon. But you and I have talked about it before. When Trump left, and he said we're going to be gone for a little while, and when he got on that plane, Melania was in a black dress, and there was a 21 gun salute, and under military protocol, 21 gun salute with the cannons. That's an inauguration. He was inaugurated that day. And when Biden was when he went to Arlington, I don't know, people, a lot of people they're not in the military. They don't pay attention to this, but Biden got, I think it was a 4-cannon salute, and one of the cannons misfired. And it came down to it. It was a military funeral.
Mm.
Nobody even paid attention, And then people don't even pay attention to the fact that Melania changed dresses when she got off the plane in Florida. So when she got on the plane in when Trump left DC, and she was in a black dress.
That's right.
They're like, okay, she's in a black dress. Well, when she got off the plane in Florida, she was in that dress dark to light
with the orange circles.
Go look
it
up.
Squares.
Go look at the dress.
Yeah.
And she was, from what they say, she was the flagpole. She was the one relaying the messages, like the ship at sea. So, and just another little rabbit hole for people to go down that we've already gone down. But that's what gives me hope is when you see something like that, dark to light. Well, yeah, that's where we're going, dark to light, and these people are going down.
Yeah, it's already set. It's already happening. It most likely has already happened. It's just, and I follow a guy who I think is pretty connected, who said that it's basically already happened, but based on psychology, based on sociology, and how things were playing out. There's quantum computers that exist, and they run these just like they do the weather and everything else. They run all these things through them to see how things are going to turn out, and they were running it, and the only way that anything came out to where we weren't in a civil war or a World War III or IV, which they've already said 3 has happened. This is supposed to be 4. It just depends on how your outlook, but a world war or a
right.
or a decimation of humanity that has happened in the past. Got the Holocaust. The only way to do it was to do it this way, and to slowly prod and poke at the world population. And now, unfortunately, I think the American population's a little further behind than the world population, because the way they had to live their lives, they were awakened to some things that we weren't. We had a really nice illusion here. We were like the headquarters for illusions here, and we were able to hide behind these fronts like the Wizard of Oz. I saw that post you put out with the Wizard of Oz and the Yellow Brick Road. Exactly, man. And the Tin Man and the Scarecrow, and how they actually mean something. And they're telling you bold face right there what's going on. And I'm sure all the tragedies that actually happened in the filming of that movie. That's kind of bizarre with what's going on. But the Tin Man is your tax identification number, and the Cowardly Lion and with his heart, and the red slippers, and it all means something. It's just crazy. But yeah, I just lost my train of thought. But basically, that's where I'm going.
It's just like no, go ahead. You're good.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's all connected, and it all means something, and it's just a matter of being receptive and open-minded enough to kind of see it, and not be so closed-minded. And hell, man, everybody wants to be closed-minded about this stuff. Nobody wants to think this stuff about the world we live in. We're born here. You just want to live your life and have fun, and have your kids and raise your kids and see the beautiful things that they do, and help them become better than you, and all that good stuff, man. And then to tell me that it's all an illusion, that's bullshit, man. But it's not. It's not. So I don't know, man.
But when I woke up, and I mean, I like I was saying, when I woke up back after 9/11, a little bit, I still wasn't totally awake until I really started looking into like Building 7, which is a whole nother issue. But in 2016, when I really, really woke up, and I was like, wow, there's no going back.
No.
There is no going back now. And that that puts a whole nother level on raising children. At that point, you're like, okay, now I know what I did to my children with birth certificates and everything, and now you have to get them out. And some children don't want to come out.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like the Matrix, where they say they never wake up an adult mind because it goes bad.
Yeah.
You can still wake up some of the kids, but some of the kids are even that far gone. They don't want to wake up. It's too much for them. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's one of those things that people are gonna wake up whether they like it or not with what's coming.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, whether you prepared or not, whether you have gold or silver, whether you have ammo, whether you have food. And just that's another thing, being up here this week and listening to people that are just so unprepared. They're talking about going on cruises and they're doing this and they're doing that, and I don't interject myself into a conversation in case the opportunity presents itself, but I'm just listening to how many people that are like, okay, the world's back to normal, let's go on a cruise, let's go do this, let's do that. I think they're going to be mistaken very soon. So we'll see what happens, but
you still need a vaccine to be on a cruise, which kind of pisses me off. I actually looked one up not long ago. I don't know if
really?
I don't know if that's changed in the last 3 months, but I went to book a cruise just to get away, and everything was cool. Went down, I read the fine print, and it said right in there, all guests must be vaccinated from COVID-19 or you cannot be on this cruise ship. And I went, F that, delete, close. I cannot believe that. That is ridiculous.
How are they still making money? Are they funded? Because you'd think 90% of the people would be like, well, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
If that's the case, holy shit, if that's the case.
Now this wasn't
showing.
Yeah, this wasn't Carnival. This was a lower end one that was because I don't like the big flashy Disney and all that shit. This was supposed to be like an independent, lower end, but real fancy ships kind of one that I think they have like 10 vessels. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. Going out of Miami. Not on that one.
The amount of money they have to be losing from that. Who's funding that? Because
I don't know.
There's no way I would step foot on a ship if that was the case.
Yeah,
you're not fucking jabbing me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then you get stuck at sea
with all
because you end up getting COVID anyway. Well, there's an outbreak and you're stuck out there for a month.
Oh my gosh! And that happened a lot.
Yeah,
during the pandemic. Yeah.
And nobody thought anything about it. Oh shit, we're stuck at sea. We got vaccinated, but yeah, we're out here and there was an outbreak. Hello.
Yeah, well, doesn't look like it helped, did it? I don't know, man. But I know we're running low. Appreciate you talking with me today, man.
Yeah, I love checking in with you, man. This is awesome. I know we're both busy, but it's awesome just checking in with you and cutting it up and but yeah, we got to do an episode where we start teaching people and maybe that'll be the next episode. And just starting from the beginning, starting from 1871, where this shit all went south right after Lincoln got shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grant took away the silver, and Nixon took away the gold.
Yeah.
Well, Nixon took us off the gold standard.
Yeah.
It was I think FDR that took us off. They confiscated the gold. Those are like 3 different shows and right there that we can do. But hey, there's some people that probably don't even know what we were just talking about right there. I mean, Grant literally took us off off silver, and then we were talking about the Titanic earlier.
I did a show on All Aware about that. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, it was my very
I-
first episode back in 2014, I believe. Yeah, it wasn't as evolved as what we know today, but it was a good show. Yeah, you should check it out, man. If you didn't see it, it's pretty cool.
I haven't seen that one. I will go back and look at that.
Yeah,
Because it's funny. That's one of the first things I researched was the Titanic because,
same here.
and I even told like my wife and a few other people about this. I was like, it wasn't the Titanic, it was the Olympic.
Mhm.
It was a huge insurance fraud.
Yep.
Even back in the day, people knew it was insurance fraud. And then the three people that opposed the Federal Reserve happened to be on the boat. And what's his name at the last minute got off the boat. So that's a
Yeah,
whole
that was
another
strange.
show. But
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I do want to plug TrueRants.net is back in action. TrueRants.net is where I hold all my documentaries that I think should be viewed by the public. There's a ton up there. My podcast is also up there. Do you want to plug allawarepodcast.com? That's where you can get all the episodes for here. I am on YouTube. I am on my third strike. One more strike and my channel will be removed. I'm sure that's going to happen. So, but right now you can access.
Hey, if you put this up, it's going to happen because we talked about a lot of stuff that we're not supposed to be talking
I know,
about.
but it's going to be on Night Watch too, right? So it'll stay up there for a little bit until they're finding.
I don't have a strike yet. I think I'm too small to for them to look at, but I guess the rite of passage. I'll get a strike at some point.
You'll get there. You'll get there, man. But yeah, thanks for interviewing, and I guess we'll have to call it a night. What do you have to plug? What's your channel?
Just Echo Hotel Night Watch
On YouTube, and then you're
on
on
YouTube
Rumble.
and on Rumble. That's the only two places so far. I haven't really promoted anything or done anything. I just enjoyed jumping on and cutting it up with you.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, hopefully we can do a little training and get people caught up on how they can take control. A lot of people are, I don't want to say in despair. They just don't know where to go or what to do. And there's things you can do to take control of your life and get out of that whole matrix situation. And I think I've got 4 or 5 videos.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I have 4 or 5 videos up there right now, and I think 3 or 4 of them are with you. The one video I put up, I read that letter from Colonel Edward House to Woodrow Wilson, which explained pretty much in detail what they did to us, back in the day. And if you don't know who Colonel Edward House is, you can look that up. I know you do, but yeah, the people listening, he was an advisor to Woodrow Wilson, who was the guy that put us into the Federal Reserve, and he literally, Woodrow Wilson, when he left the presidency, he literally his outgoing message was that he unwittingly ruined his country and sold his country out.
Remorseful. Yep.
So we'll see. Maybe we can put some training up. People can go watch that. And I mean, that's a 1-page letter that pretty much explains everything.
Yeah, let's. I'm down to rock that out. Maybe do it on the next Night Watch, or I know I have a couple more coming up on mine. A couple more episodes coming up that are pre-planned, and then after that we can do whatever. So,
all right, my brother.
Hey, thanks a lot, man, and I will see you around. And until then, I'm out.
All right, love you, man.
Love you too, brother.